A simple way to pass the MPRE. The MPRE is much easier than the bar exam, but it still requires a certain level of preparation. In my experience, the subject itself isn't as difficult as the study process. I'm sharing my experience in case it helps anyone preparing for the exam. In California, the passing score is 86 and I scored 109. 1. Study materials. My law school distributed free MPRE MPRE books while promoting their bar prep program, so I kept the book and used it to study. I also tried some free online practice questions offered by Themis. 2. Studying the rules. Taking a PR class in law school and studying the doctrinal materials thoroughly would obviously help a lot. However, I never took the PR course, and I didn't study the theory section in the book either. That doesn't mean I answered questions based only on common sense. The actual exam questions include many vague, confusing scenarios, and I was often unsure about the right answer. I remember that in the MPRE question bank, my accuracy rate was under 50%. Anyone who has answered 10 questions and gotten only 4 correct knows how discouraging that feels. Still, because the MPRE tends to repeat predictable question patterns, I believe that even if I missed some questions, I would still be able to pass. Also, due to personal circumstances, I didn't even open the book until 3 weeks before the exam, and my slow English reading speed left me no time to study the theory. Even so, I passed with a comfortable score of 109, which suggests that theory study is helpful but not strictly necessary. 3. Accuracy rates. MPRE's questions were unforgiving. At first, I was scoring around 60%, but the more I practiced, the more my accuracy dropped into the 40% range. After working through about 100-150 questions, my confidence was completely shaken, so I searched for other free practice problems online and found Themis MPRE questions. My accuracy wasn't high there either, but it was better than MPRE. 4. Number of questions I solved. Without studying the doctrine, I completed about 150 MPRE questions and roughly 80 Themis questions. I didn't keep exact records, so the numbers aren't precise. My original plan was to finish all the questions and then review the ones I missed, but I didn't have enough time to go back through more than half of them. Since English isn't my first language, I couldn't afford to carefully read every question in English. Later in my study period, I ended up translating questions with GPT and checking the correct answer immediately. If the answer made sense right away, I moved on. If the answer didn't make sense, I read the explanation, and if the explanation was unclear, I asked GPT to explain it in more detail. 5. Conclusion. If you work through a reasonable number of question types and clearly understand why certain answers are correct or incorrect, you can pass the MPRE. Since ethical rules matter in actual practice, it's ideal to study the doctrinal rules carefully if you have enough time. But if you're short on time, I believe that solving about 200-300 questions while carefully reviewing the reasoning and relevant rules is enough to pass.